wish you had faster internet at your home? Internet is something I think all of us rely on daily, whether that be for school or oftentimes for work, or for all of us just for fun. So I think it's something that's kind of interesting to all of us. So in my speech, I'm going to talk about Google Fiber specifically, which some of you may have heard of, I know a lot of you haven't. And my family has Google Fiber in our house, so I know a lot about it just from that. Also, it's something that comes up frequently in our computer science classes. It's a topic we talk a lot about, so it's very interesting to me. And Google Fiber is a relatively new advancement in technology that will affect our workplaces and our everyday lives. So in this speech, I'm going to talk about, first, what Google Fiber even is. Then I'm going to give a little bit of background history, how it came to Kansas City originally. And lastly, I'm going to give a brief overview of the costs, just some basic details. So what even is Google Fiber? Well, Google Fiber provides high-speed internet and also TV if you want that too. So just like you have a service provider for your internet at home right now, Google is now a service provider. And the main thing about Google Fiber that makes it so interesting is that it's very, very fast. So I'm going to give you some numbers, and this is according to Joanna Presentation II in his article, Here's How Fast Google Fiber Really Is. It was written for BGR.com, published on November 20, 2015. So he says that Google Fiber supports speeds of up to 1,000 megabits per second. Well, how fast is that? Just as a comparison, the average connection speed in a US household is 11.5 megabits per second. So 11.5 is average, 1,000 is Google Fiber. That's like almost 100 times as fast. Here's another comparison that he gives in the article. Comcast's best internet service is 75 megabits per second. So the top of the top for Comcast is 75, and Google Fiber is 1,000. So again, even that is like more than 10 times as fast. This is such a fast download speed, or this is such a fast speed that you can download a movie in less than 2 minutes. So it sounds pretty great, but there's definitely some limitations to Google Fiber. The main one is that not everyone has access to it. In fact, not every city in the US. So Google Fiber started as an experimentation in Kansas City, actually, which is convenient for a lot of us who live in that area. And I'm going to give you a few quotes. In Michael Copeland's article, Eric Schmidt says Google Fiber one stop of Kansas City. It was published on December 12, 2012. And he quotes Schmidt, who was the Google executive chairman at the time. He says this, "It's not actually an experiment, we're actually running it as a business." So what this quote was from was, he's saying that originally Google Fiber was just sort of an experiment to see if it was even worth it. You know, was Google actually going to profit from this new advancement in technology? But now they're actually going to do it as a business and try to spread it to other places. Also, Germaine Halgua, in her essay, Calling All Fiberhoods, Google Fiber and the Politics of Visibility. This was published in the International Journal of Cultural Studies, and it was from 2014. So she says this about the origins of Google Fiber. In February 2010, Google announced it would build an experimental fiber optic network in a small number of trial locations within the US. The 1 gigabit per second network would provide residents and businesses with download and upload speeds up to 100 times faster than any pre-existing US service. So she calls it an experimental fiber optic network, and I think that's a pretty good description of what it is. But here's how it would practically work. If you lived in a Kansas City neighborhood, your neighborhood had to qualify for access to Google Fiber. So basically what that meant was a high enough percentage of the people who lived in your neighborhood had to agree to register to pay for Google Fiber if they actually wanted to get it. So if you were the only person in your neighborhood who actually wanted this high-speed internet, it isn't worth it to Google to actually come and do the whole installation process just for you. So you had to have a high enough percentage of people in your neighborhood who were even interested in this. So what this means is that not every neighborhood in the Kansas City area currently has access to Google Fiber. It's really predominantly the wealthier ones, because those are the ones who could afford it. These neighborhoods became known as fiberhoods, which is kind of funny. So currently, Google Fiber has moved on from Kansas City and also spread to Austin and Nashville and Salt Lake City and other places. This is the picture I have up here. This is the only slide I have. But these are the places where Google Fiber even is currently. That's the blue dots, or upcoming is the purple dots. So if you're interested in any one of those cities, there you go. That's some more information. There's a lot of details I could give that I don't have time to give, but the main one I think is the cost. So is Google Fiber worth the cost? There's different plans depending on if you want Fiber 100, which is the 100 megabits per second, or Fiber 1000, which is 1000 megabits per second, so 10 times faster. And all the numbers I'm about to give you come from Google Fiber's official website, which is fiber.google.com. So if you want Fiber 100, it's $50 per month for just the internet, and $140 per month if you also want TV with it. Fiber 1000 is $70 per month for just the internet, and $160 per month if you want TV too. So if you're like my family who hardly ever watches TV, but we use the internet all the time, you can pay $70 per month. Is that worth it? Well, that's up to you. Currently, for me, in my apartment here in Warrensburg, I'm paying $40 per month, and it's pretty terrible. So would I upgrade for an extra $30? Yeah, definitely. But that's up to you. Some people think that Google Fiber is too expensive, and also, like I said earlier, some people think it's limited to the wealthier communities because you have to kind of live in that kind of a neighborhood to even qualify for access to it. So just as a conclusion, this is only scratching the surface of what Google Fiber really is. If you're interested, you can definitely look stuff up online and learn more. I've talked about what Google Fiber is, how it came to Kansas City, and also some details about the cost. And whether you live in a place where you have access to Google Fiber or not, I think it's interesting and also just kind of fun to learn about what's going on, what's the latest advancement in technology. That's something that we all, I think, can relate to as college students. And who knows, maybe one day Google Fiber will become even more successful and spread to the entire US, and you'll find yourself relying on it every day. So, thank you.